What's going on, everyone? I am JDTrades, and I'm going to go over a few things with you guys today that I think are very important that will help you guys, since I see a lot of you guys trading with me. So first off, and we'll get right into it. Have my screen up. I posted this already a few times here, and I'm going to walk you through what so you guys understand. Now, if you guys have a small port, I would say in between 1,000 to maybe like $4,000, $5,000, 1,000 to $5,000. Let's just say that. What I would say is stick with this right here. Stick with this. Um, Stick with this right here. Level one right here. Stocks, the safest trades, safest stock that we trade. Pretty much. These are all the stocks that I like to trade here. So level one would be for like a one K to $5,000 port. You don't have to trade, and then you could stay away from Meta, Tesla, and AMD because they're going to be very fast moving stocks. Like I said, a little higher risk, and so they're going to move a lot faster. Now, if you got something like a 5,000 and 10,000, I would say you could trade them, but I would say, and you go to level two. And so if you do have a 5,000 to $10,000 port, go ahead and trade the level two, which is Meta, Tesla, and AMD. So then you gives you all these stocks to trade. Gives you Nvidia, Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Palantir, SPY, QQQ, Meta, Tesla, and AMD. If you have a 5,000, $10,000 port. Now, if you have a port that's again from 1K to 5K, stick with level one here. Level one right here on the screen. Here, Nvidia, Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Palantir, SPY, and QQQ. Once you get a bigger size port, then go ahead and go to these level three stocks that I trade here and there. And I like to catch these. Usually I catch them for 100 to 200% when I do catch them. Usually the stop loss is going to be like 50% stop loss on these. But you guys saw me on the last MSTR trade. I caught it for 250%. My first trim was 200%. Second trim was 250%. That's when I exited complete out of the trade. So these are going to be a lot of higher risk, bigger reward. You don't have to trade as many, you don't have to take as many contracts. So these are the stocks that I trade. So again, if you guys are trading with me, what I highly recommend is just stick with me. Just make it simple, stick with me, trade with me. And if you guys like my trades, stick with me. If you don't and you think another trader, you guys are bouncing around from this guy to this girl to, four different traders or three different traders, go find who you like to trade with and stick with them. Like you're going to be bouncing all over the place. You're gonna have so many different confusing setups. You're gonna be trying to trade with me. I trade completely different from most people, and then you're gonna trade with another guy that trades completely different. So you're not gonna get in good habits, and you're not going to learn what you need to learn to get where you want to go. So again, I like bigger setups. I'm a safer trader, and if you I only enter trades for A plus setups, A plus plus setups. So you saw this morning, like on Apple, I ended up liking the trade as we were in it a little bit more for multiple reasons as we were going through the trade. Was talking through the Discord and telling everybody what I liked about it. And as it started to move a little bit and different things were happening, I liked the trade more and more. And I told everybody, like, I'm going to upsize on this trade because of these reasons. So I do that a lot in the Discord when I do that. Now, like I said, I can't post too many trades on X because I can only type so fast. I gotta make sure that I'm giving you guys good setups. So I'm gonna only put you in one trade at a time. So if you guys, like I said, I'm gonna try to stick with those NVIDIA, Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Palantir, SPY, and QQQ. If I do like an intraday trade, I may call out Meta and Tesla and AMD. Like I did today, I called out Meta. Kind of got stuck in it. A little intraday trade. That was an intraday trade I was trying to set up. Didn't end up playing out. But we'll see where we open tomorrow. Meta's on a big squeeze right now for the upside. So I think that will play out pretty good. We'll kind of see where we end up to tomorrow. That being said, so position sizing. Everyone should have a daily goal. These are things that I think I said, for me, if you want to trade with me, these are things that I like to implement. You don't have to do them, but this is stuff that will help you and help you hit daily goals and make your money for the week, whatever you want to make. Now, let's just say if you don't have a big port, let's just say you have $1,000 port. I would highly suggest that you try to hit like 50, 75, $100 a day. You try to be consistent, you hit it, walk away. And then if you want to watch some trades and watch the computer and kind of learn, I recommend doing that. And then you could just stay because the high probability setups most of the time are going to be in the morning. So if you bang out 100 bucks, 125 bucks, 75 bucks, take your profits and move on to the next day. And you already hit the trade, you make your money and you walk away. And that will start building your port. So if you got $1,000 port, and you build it up, and let's just say you make $50 one day, 75 another day, $100 another day. By the end of the week, you should have at least $1,200 to $1,400 from that $1,000 port. If you're trading with me, you're going to win with me. Like I said, you guys see what I'm capable of doing, even in shit price action like today and tomorrow, or today and yesterday. Hopefully tomorrow we have really good price action, but we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'll call it out, and I'll go over it today. I'm going to go over a little bit of why price action is kind of shit right now. So those things are going to matter. So if you got a $5,000 port, or what I'll do is tell you what, if you guys are watching this video, just tag me and what's it called? Tag me in on X and say, hey, I have a $5,000 port, and I'll give you your daily goal and what you should do. But let's just say I'm going to put another scenario out. Let's say we have a $10,000 port, right? $10,000 port, you don't need to make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a day. $10,000 port, work on making $500 a day. That's plenty. And you're going to, if you trade with me, you're probably going to hit days where you hit $1,000, $1,500. So if you catch that, you hit $1,000, just call it a day. You hit $1,500, call it a day. By the end of the week, you should have like $2,000, $3,000 in your port from a $10,000 port. If you do that, that's 25% on your port. You hit 2,500 bucks. That's 25% on your port in 1 week. And if you could be consistent, you could literally start stacking your port and upsizing, doing multiple things that will help you. So that's what I'd say. The biggest thing is have a daily goal. You want, like I said, tag me on X, say, hey, this is what I have. What's my daily goal? What should I do? So I'll give you that, and I'll go ahead and respond as soon as I see it to make sure I respond to that. So that being said, those are some things that I would say highly implement these things into your trading. It will help you. And moving forward, yeah, I've had people tag me, are we out of this trade? Are we out of this trade? So moving forward, real simple, 35%. If we're down 35%, just exit the trade. Exit the trade and move on. That's it. Exit the trade. 35%, boom, you're done. If we're going down 35, 40%, more than likely the likelihood of it coming back is slim to none. It's really slim. So once we start going in that 35, I've done the research, and every time I've kind of went to 35, 40%, that's my max. And sometimes it's flipped, but most of the time, once you hit that 35% marker, you're going in the wrong direction. You're probably going to go to 50%. You're probably going to go 60%. You're probably going to 70%, which a lot of people did today on Google, which I told them like multiple times, 40% max stop loss. So real simple, 35% stop loss. Simple as that. So simple that. Stick with these on the level one. Like I said, stick with the level one. NVIDIA, Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Palantir, SPY. Stick with those. If you stick with those, you'll be fine. And like I said, you're going to be able to do really well just sticking with those stocks, what I'd say. So I'd say highly recommend doing those stocks, recommend doing those, and then you could kind of go from there off of those. That being said, if you have any questions, go ahead and like I said, go ahead and tag me or just put in the comments, and I'll look through the comments later on today and tomorrow, and we'll respond to all those things. Okay. So that being said, we kind of got through that. If you guys have more questions on that, we'll kind of go through that, but hopefully that explained that, right? Pretty simple. But I'll go ahead and put this in here. I'll go ahead and pin this on today's video to make sure you guys have this. Again, make sure you guys write all this stuff down. Real simple. Have it by your computer. Write all this stuff down So you know what the level one, level two, you don't really need to know level three unless you have like a, I would say like a 15, $20,000 port. And then you could go to level three. And a lot of people like those because they move and, we could catch them big. And, if you have, so let's just say you have four contracts, we had 100%, you're in a $700 position, you make $700 per contract. You sometimes will hit it for 150, 200, which I do a lot, and you end up making about, 14, $1,500 per contract. So those level three are crazy gains. They could be really good. And like I said, I only pick them for when I really, really like them and I think they're going to move. That being said, okay, we went through that. Next thing, like I said, I'm going to give you guys is I'm going to give you guys how I like to trade. Levels, supply and demand, kind of what I like to do. So what I'm going to do is real simple. I'm going to show you. You're going to be amazed probably how fast I could do this. But so here we are on Google, on Google. Okay. So real simple. I have obviously you see on my charts, you see my lines, you see my supply and demand, you see my levels here. You see all that. So real simple. Here we go. I have, we got 194 drawings. Look at this. Going to remove. All gone. Completely cleared off. Removed off of there. So we don't have to worry about it. Real simple. We're out of there. Okay. So we moved off of there. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to figure out how Google moves, right? Okay. So you see like Google has moved up or from down here all the way up here, kind of here. So if you could look at the candles are kind of like a little clustered here, clustered. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go, we're on a 15-minute time frame. What we're going to do is go to a 30-minute time frame. Looks a little better, right? You could kind of see like the levels from here to here to here to here to here to here. So let's maybe move in a 30-minute time frame. Let's go to the hourly time frame. Check out this. Hey, that looks even better. Look, it looks bulkier, it looks here. Now you can see, look here, we're moving from here to here to here to here to here, uptrend, and then back down. So, right? So it's real simple. You could kind of see, like, look, here, right here, this cluster right here kind of gives us an idea of consolidation, right? And consolidation, right? And consolidation. So you could see kind of like this is right here, demand and supply. So we could kind of figure out like, okay, so now we're on an hourly time frame. So, okay, so far Google's probably moving maybe better in an hourly time frame than a 15-minute or a 30-minute. Every stock I like to trade is different. Most traders are going to say like trade in a daily or trade in an hourly, trade in a 2 hour. Every stock moves different. Every stock moves faster, slower. So this is what I've realized by doing this, implementing this, and you guys could, when you guys are charting and learning this, you guys can just tag me and say, hey, what is Google moving? What does what is Meta moving? And I'll just tag you and I'll tag you right back. Hey, it moves in an hourly. It moves in a 4 hour. And you're going to see when I'm charting this, I'm going to show you this. And this is going to be super key what I've learned. And I've kind of created this on my own. Never learned this like from any books or anything. I kind of just know that by doing this, they move in different time frames. So by doing this, it kind of gives you a better movement of being able to catch a trade. Let's just say when we're going from here to here, right? Or here from the top of supply to demand, right? So we catch trades from here, supply, we take it down, we caught it. Take it up, we caught it, right? So we got this move up. So let's just say, like for this day, for instance, right? We're trading it here and we're in that supply and we have our zones here and we take it in that supply and we get that retest and we move on up. Look, it's just a nice move right into supply. So you could see that's why I love trading supply and demand. It's really, really crystal clear, but also I use a gazillion under indicators that I'm able to do. One thing about me is I'll tell you one thing that it's really weird is for trading, I have a photographic memory. I could remember so many different things when I'm in a trade, and also I have three screens, so I'm able to watch this trade, this trade, and this trade. I have photographic memory in all this. But on the other hand, if one, let's just say my sister calls me and says, "Hey, can you do something for my mom?" or "Can you run over to her house? Can you do this for her?" More than likely, if I don't put it on my calendar, I'm going to forget it. So it's really weird, like stuff like that, or anything like someone tells me, I just don't remember. But for stock, I think because I love it so much, I just have a photographic memory. I don't know how, but I'm able to remember all kinds of, absorb so many things, adjust to the market, all these different things. So that being said, we'll get right into it. So I'm going to delete all this again, kind of just showing you levels. So also one thing is there's also there's levels to trading, right? There's the how the structure of trading goes, right? So this is like right here, one, right? So this is what they consider consolidation. Consolidation is the movement from side to side, right? Up and down consolidation. You can see that. So that is stage one of consolidation. Now, as we're moving up, this is where the market makers start moving. And the market makers start moving in here. They start they start buying, it pushes the stock up. And then as you see it, retail investors start getting into it. I'm sorry. And then we got we got retail investors coming in here. And then as it's pushing up, then you got the FOMO buyers trying to buy it in as it's pushing up. And then we go into here, and then again, consolidation. So there's the stage one, stage two, stage three, and stage four, going back down. So those are the stages. Stage one, consolidation. Stage up is two, consolidation, and then back down. So those are the four stages of the market. So if you could follow those things, just very basic knowledge that you kind of so you can understand structure in the market. Okay. So now we're going to get rid of this real quick. I'm going to delete that. Okay. So we're in that hourly time frame. Let's double check one more. Let's go to the 2 hour, see if it's a little cleaner. So this looks pretty nice though. That hourly. Well, we'll go to 2 hour just to double check. Oh, so the 2 hour looks pretty good too. So look at that 2 hour structure right here. We got consolidation, push up there, and then here, go back to the 1 hour. 1 hour looks a little better. So what we'll do is tell you what, we're just going to chart on the 1 hour and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay. So first off, what we're going to do is real simple. We're going to go to the highs. Okay. So we're going to pick some highs right here. So real simple. You could see, um, you could see that here's some highs. So we got one. Oops. We're going to go there. So we're going to click some highs. So all we're going to do is click some highs here. Switch this over so make this brighter there. Okay, so we got some highs there. We got high there, high there. We got, so I'm using the green candle. I'm not using any of the red candles. So I've got green right here. So I got one there, one there. Okay, got one here, got one there. We'll delete what we need to delete too. Okay, so we got some green candles, green candle, right? So we got three. Now let's go down and let's check out, maybe go to some lows. Okay, we got one there. We got one there. We got one there. We got one there. Okay. So pretty simple. As you can see, I just locked in some lines, right? Some basic let me get this line out of here. This line popped up. Didn't mean to do that one. That's fuck. All right. Remove that. Maybe just remove that. Okay, there it is. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So I got that removed. Okay, so we got these lines, right? So we got resistance, resistance, support, support down here. So now what we're going to do is now that we got some lines here, you can see here, we're going to try to figure out where that consolidation is, right? So you can see like it's just move down. This is up, pull back down, retest, and then move up. Pop up, down here, retest up. Okay, so looks pretty clear up here, real simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to start creating that supply and demand. Okay. So we got this one, we got these two candles that match, right? So as you can see, this one's a little higher. So we're going to take the lower one so we can get rid of that wick. And then also the lower one here is further along, closer data, like clean our data. That's that's like from Wednesday versus a few days ago. So we're going to use that. We're going to clear this here. And now we're going to go ahead and mark this, right? So it's real simple. We're going to do that. We're on the hourly. This is for Google. So, okay. So now we got that line right there. Okay. So we got that first box created. We'll go ahead and move that. See how clean that looks. And we'll go ahead and add stuff too as we go. Okay. So there's a nice supply, right? So if we pull this over right here, you can see there was like older data supply right here back from June 16th. It looks pretty good. More consolidation. And then obviously this was supply. This was the top. And then we pulled back, right? Did here, top, pulled back. So we got a nice supply zone there. Okay. So now we'll go down here. Okay, so obviously here was our last low right here, and here was our last low. So this is newer data from today. So we're not going to use that one. We'll go back and use this one. So let's just move this here right here. We'll get rid of that one. And now we're going to use this one right here. So we're going to go here. Now we're going to use this, real simple, this to here. And now we're going to slide that over. This is going to start to make sense here shortly. I guarantee it. Okay, so now we got a little more data now. Check this out now. Look how clean this looks now. Okay, so we got here, we pushed up here, pushed up, back down, and then finally broke this top level, pushed up into the supply, moved back down. So this is stronger data now that we've further along into like newer days and last few days, okay, last past days. So now we could kind of figure out like these are some data. So let's just say we didn't use any of this data from here on this way, and we just use this data. So we'll kind of see how this plays out, right? So we only use this data from here, right? This is the supply and demand, right? Supply, demand. So as you can see, we pushed up and down. So if we've created this supply down here, and now we pushed up here. So obviously, now that we came up into the supply, at some point we're probably going to pull back unless the stock is really strong, unless we're watching flow orders, watching like the kind of like I watch flow orders and then I watch the put walls, call walls, and explain those. Those will be in further detail, but at least it will explain. So if kind of like Apple, I said 310 was a call wall. So once we got above that call wall, and that was probably that was the supply area on Apple, as we got above that supply, we were going to move into that next supply area. So we create that supply that was currently in will end up being demand if we end up pushing up into another new supply area, and then we get a new order block of those all-time highs of new supply, and now we'll end up making that old supply demand. So a little confusing on that. I hope I explained it well, but we'll kind of just like I said, I'm going to keep it going real simple here. So now we got demand, supply, right? Okay. So perfect. So this is playing out nicely. Okay. So we know right here. Okay. Now we got this on the hourly. So now what we're going to do is real simple. We go out, we rename this. Okay. We got Google X account and then 1 hour. So this is, so now you just label that. That's your hourly. So this is Google moves in an hourly supply and demand. So you could use that for that strictly for this stock. Now, if it's different from NVIDIA or Intel or Meta, it might be different. It might be a 2 hour, it might be a 2 hour zone, might be a 4 hour. So it's just whatever looks cleaner. This looks super clean. You can see nice candlesticks. You can see the moves up and down, right? So now let's go try to catch a trade, right? So let's just say we're in this supply area, right? We're in supply here. Now we're going to go to a 15-minute time frame, right? So on this day here, we are already in here, right? Here's market open right here. So we already know we have already created the supply from this old back here, right? This old data back here. We have that created that supply. Here's that top there. We use that, created that. So what's real simple is now what we're gonna do is we miss the, let's just say we move up here, right? And we know that more or less that Google's kind of trading in a range right now. It's trading in like kind of like up and down, kind of here, and then it got kind of strong and then moved back down. But we know back here, this was heavy, heavy resistance, right? We rejected it here. So the likelihood of kind of the market where it's at, there's multiple factors, but more than likely, this is where we're going to try to take those puts. So simple, we're either going to take it up here at the top of supply in the morning, right? As we pushed up in the morning, we'll go to a 5 minute time frame, right? On this here. So we kind of liked it right here. So let's just say we took it for an intraday trade and we were watching it. We're going to enter right there at that 37315 area. So when it pops up there, this is going to be the top of supply. That's where we're going to try to enter puts. We're going to enter puts. And obviously, if we caught this top here on a 5 minute time frame, we go in right at that top. A lot of times I'll go right at the top of supply. I'll enter right there. If I think it's not, if I think it's super strong, then I'll wait. But if I think it's like not that strong and I think it's just going to reject anyways right at the top, a lot of times I will, as soon as we get to that number right there, I'll have it, my contract's locked up, ready to go, and enter it right there. Obviously, we hit it here, resistance, and now we rejected, little consolidation. Look at this right here, little consolidation, little 30-minute consolidation. What happens after consolidation, right? Got consolidation here, uptrend, level one, level two, level three, and then what happens after level three? The drop. So those are the levels again, right? We talked about that of how the market trades. Level one, consolidation, the pop up. Level two, or uh, on the way up is two, and then sideways again, consolidation is three, and then the drop is four. So those are the stages of the market. Stage one, two, three, and four, just like we went over earlier. So now if we took it up here, we're taking it at stage, we're taking that stage three of that consolidation at the top. And then look what happens, slow consolidation. And then sure enough, well, let's just say we were watching it right here. We're looking at it, we entered there right here. If we get a candle close above here, then we're going to exit. We have our stop loss, but we're going to look for some confirmation. Let's just say we already know we topped out here a few times. So we will go right to here off of the bottom of that supply. And then we'll go ahead and use this little right there. We'll create a trend line and look what happens. We bought in here, little consolidation. We wait. We entered right there at the top here at 6:50 in the morning, California time. And then next thing you know, we're pushing low consolidation. Look, little breakout out of this trend line coming in here, 7:25, 50 minutes later. And look, then the drop happens. Boom, boom. So we got a nice little drop on it. We entered at 373, and we got a nice little right there, $6 move. Huge trade right there. $6 is massive. So we got a little nice trade there. We exit right at the bottom of supply. And if, like I said, it kind of consolidate more stages, right? Consolidation. This is why we're going to exit out of here, because this was our level right here. We're going to go enter at the top of supply, exit at the bottom of supply. If it's weak and we think it's going to rip and we good price action that day, then we'll stay in it. We'll take a trim here and then maybe get a retest right here, take a little retest, and then we get the drop. But it doesn't drop till later on, obviously that next day. And you see right here, comes down, breaks out of that supply, retest, and then there goes the drop, right? There it is right there, consolidation, and then the drop overnight. So that's kind of, those are the stages of the market. So again, I don't want to go too in depth in, like I went over more than I wanted to, so I don't want to confuse you guys. So these are some like really simple, but obviously I put a little more. I went a little more than I wanted to, because I wanted to try to make this crystal clear for you guys, so you guys could understand supply and demand. But so let's get back to that real quick, and then we'll kind of go from there. So real simple. This is kind of how I create my levels, and I'll go into on the next video of more levels and kind of different things of how to do it. But as you can see, this was our supply and demand. I'm going to be very basic tonight. Like I said, because I went over way too much. I just wanted to go over supply and demand and kind of give you some levels, but I gave you so much information already. I don't want to go through like all these little price targets and stuff like that. But as you can see like this is where we tagged here. So these were going to be price targets, right? Let's just say we took this trade here at the top right here, and we had a nice little day. And let's just say this was not here. This wasn't after hours. Let's just say this was the day, right? So real simple. Look, we entered there, got a trade here, entered here. We got a little pop here. We got a little pop in the market. Let's just say the market, we knew the market was super weak. We exited here. We come back here. When I tell you guys, let's reload. I do that a lot in the Discord. Let's reload. We pop a little, we already took trims here. We're down, let's say we took 89% trim. We pop back up and I feel like it's weak again. Well, here's the retest and then we drop down. So let's just say this was the whole market of that day. I had a lot of times we'll reload here and then we take the drop again. So we caught the trade here and then up here, here's the retest and then we drop down and catch that down. So you'll see me catch a lot of big trades like that where I'm catching like, $6 moves like Meta, trying to catch a like $10, $15 move on Meta, which I think we will. Hopefully tomorrow, we'll see how it plays out. But real simple, these are some basic tips of kind of like things here. And let's say like this day right here. So how I use this line, right? So we had created that wasn't, this line isn't part of supply, but it was a nice top. So what I'd say is right here, I'll show you like right here. So we could use this now if we were creating this supply and demand level, we created that. We could just pop it here real quick, clock that line, and we'll use that as a price target. And why we use that as a price target, look right here, it worked out perfect, right? So we take it right here. We're not going to try to hit all the, it would be nice if we hit the bottom, but here again, look, let's just say this was a day, like let's just say this was all at one day, right? So as you can see, it drops down, boom, hits our price target. This would be a price target, hits that price target, comes a little further down, and look, big pop right back up. So if you didn't have price targets in between these zones and you just have a price target all the way down here, a lot of times you're going to catch a lot of support before you actually get that final drop. And that's what happened here. So if you didn't take profits here, now if it pops back up, then you could reload again. It reloads right into the top of that or the bottom of that supply, reload there, and then right back down. Takes more, just got the trade back to back. So when I'm focused in on one trade, this is kind of like what I like to do. So you can kind of see like those levels. Okay, so there's some basic so levels on that Google. Make sure you guys leave me some comments in there. I'll answer them. I want to try to, I'm going to have to go through this one more time and maybe I'll do that tomorrow and kind of go through those levels. So this is kind of real simple of like how I find levels on, like I said, like on Google. So as you can see down here, let's just say, here's some more, right? Let's just say we had to find here, right? So this one's a bigger consolidation, right? This one is, it's really hard to get supply up here and demand here. So we'll kind of do this right here. We'll kind of see how this works out, play there. And we'll use that box right here. Let's see how much consolidation is. Sure enough, there's a lot there, a lot of consolidation, right? So this was, as you can see, this was literally a 1, 2, 3 day consolidation before the breakout. So as you can see, if you have that consolidation, you have these levels, real simple. Look, supply, or like, look at this. This kind of plays out right here. This is how I create breaker blocks. So as you can see, like this is a bigger supply zone, right? This is smaller now. And look at this right here. So you could kind of see this is kind of direction of what a breaker block is, what I like to use. And I'll go over that in the next video. Like I said, I just don't want to confuse you guys. Get some basic information. We'll kind of go from there. We could see right here, look, if we're up here top and then it got weak, we broke this breaker block. Look, now we go all the way to supply. Look, and so we'll use this again. That we'll keep this breaker block because it's a smaller zone. So that would be a breaker block. It's a small zone. It gives us direction. You can see right here. Now here, It's going here. We were got strong, got weak, and then pulled back. So back gives us back direction to back down to demand. So real simple. Now this right here got strong right here, little pop here, got into the breaker block. So what we're going to do is be very careful and watching this right here, figuring out which direction here. So sure enough, we're into that consolidation, pulls back for a retest, fires here, and now you see like this got strong. Now retest, fire, and now more consolidation, and now we're breaking out the breaker block. So now, obviously, now that we're getting above the breaker block, we got strong. We're moving up to the upside. So now we're going to look for targets now, right? So now we're going to go try and catch this on supply, right? You can see a little more consolidation, 3-day consolidation. We're going to watch this, watch this. Okay, boom. So you can see like it's starting to get strong, right? We're making higher highs, higher highs. So at that point, this stock is getting strong. So we're going to try to hopefully get that retest. Boom, comes into that breaker block. Sure enough, we'll get it in here somewhere. And now we can catch the move to the upside. And that's the way a lot of times where I catch overnight trades and do that. So those are some key things for that on that. I'll go over tomorrow. I'll do Google again and I'll do NVIDIA. But like I said, I just went through a lot of information, more than I thought I would. I was going to try and make it simple, but obviously my mind doesn't work that way. So kind of gives you some very basic stuff here. But what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'll do these levels again and I'll walk you through and we'll kind of do the levels again. But as you can see, I'm going to pop NVIDIA real quick, and then I'm going to show you how fast I can do these levels and how fast I can do it. I don't want you to do them this fast, but for me, it's just simple. I've been doing it so long, and I chart every day. I chart, 10 different stocks, sometimes 15 different stocks every day, updating zones, levels, different things. So it's very easy to me, like back of my hand. So, and I kind of know, like, okay, where, like, I know SPY's at 745 tonight. I know, like I said, I know NVIDIA's, it went over 200 tonight. So right around that 200, 202, I know it closed there. So I could kind of like know where stocks are. I'm really good, like, and kind of figuring out all those things, kind of like just watching back and forth and just like kind of like on meta, I know we were at that like 602 to 605, 606 range. And today, kind of where it closed, like we pulled back, so it went down to 603. So I know we closed around 603. So I kind of know levels in my head, like just it just pops in. For anything else, I don't remember. So don't think I'm like a genius. I'm just really good at the stock stuff. Other stuff I'm really good at, but not as good. I just, like I said, this stuff for me, it really makes sense. And I've just been doing it long enough. And hopefully everybody grasps it a little different. They grasp it faster. Sometimes, like when I was doing masterminds last year and the year before, I was doing a bunch of masterminds. It's a lot of work. I don't think I'll ever do them again. It's just too much work. And I get a little, I'm very patient, but I just get too impatient when people don't grasp this stuff and I have to, and they don't, it's really hard. So sometimes it's easier for me to just try to like do these videos and hopefully you guys learn and ask questions and you'll get better at it and I can help you that way. But we'll kind of go through that. So real simple, check it out. We'll go through NVIDIA real quick, right? So my chart's here. You see right here, look at this right here. This is just like such beautiful structure here, right? We got that structure here, breakout, upside, just good structure, up, down, consolidation, up and down. You could catch trades like this too. Trade here, catch the top, catch the bottom, catch the top, catch it, go back and forth, nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. And then all of a sudden right here, right, we're in a squeeze. We're in a squeeze. We were looking for downside over the past week. We finally got it. We got that breakout on Thursday or on it was on sorry, it was on Tuesday, last Tuesday. We got that we got that where was it? Where are we at here? Today is Wednesday, Tuesday. The thing was, it was last Thursday. We got that big pool in the market here. That's where it was. We got that big pool, and then we consolidated, and then we had a big drop. Well, what happened here on NVIDIA, it was bearish, it was super bearish, and it was in a short squeeze. Problem was, it couldn't squeeze. It took too long to squeeze down. And what happened is, this is why it's very important to watch, like as you get advanced, you could watch call flow and stuff that I do. It's easier for you, honestly, to just tag me and say, hey, how does this stock look? Is there call flow on it? Is there put flow? I'll kind of give you, I already know, and I watch all this stuff anyways, and I remember it. I have it all written down. I have a lot of stuff, on a stock. So with Nvidia, it was very weak, very weak. And then on Tuesday morning, on Monday night, on after hours, a lot of people started buying Nvidia, even though it pulled down. And then Tuesday morning, they started buying it up. And that's why we got that freaking huge rip right here. So we got that huge rip. And look what happened today. Kind of took my eye off Nvidia, but this has to do with all flow orders pushed up. And sure enough, we got right back into this squeeze. And look what happened. Now it's squeezed to the upside. Now we got a squeeze ripped. Look at that. Went to 205 today. Crazy. So you could have caught this move, but I wasn't really watching Nvidia today. Kind of, I just remember I even said it multiple times. I said the chip sector was strong. And so I popped. So those are key things. And chip sector probably should have been on the chip sector today. But like I said, I already was locked into Apple and Meta, and I said I don't want to trade too many stocks at the same time. I want to try to find our A plus plus setups, kind of go from there. But that being said, check this out real quick. 426 drawings on my chart here. So remove, boom, simple as that. So we're gonna go here, hourly. Hourly looks okay, looks a little tight. So we'll go to 2 hour. So boom. So real simple. We're gonna go 2 hour here, and we'll go mark some levels. Boom. So we'll mark some levels, some highs, right? We got some highs there. Some more highs there. Let's go to the bottoms now. We got some bottoms there. We got some more recent bottoms right here. So we're going to go there. Let's see there. We'll use this bottom because it's a little higher. So make sure we get that little line in there. We don't want to, if we put it here, we're going to, shit. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to show you what I mean by this. So this line right here, right? If we put this line here, right, then we miss that bottom, right? So it doesn't come in perfect. So I'm going to show you something real quick. So let's just say we use this right here and we use that. Now we're going to miss that bottom. So it's not going to be very clean. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you get that bottom, the higher low. So you get that. And now it's nice and clean and it gets the whole demand level, right? So now we got price targets in the demand level. You can see it here, nice and clean. So right here, you can see it, look, demand up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So real simple, supply and demand. So go here, we got this one here, we got this one here. So let's create this real quick. I'm going to do this really fast. We don't get, and we'll go over this a little more in detail tomorrow, but real simple. So now you can see NVIDIA over the past 2 weeks has been trading supply and demand. Supply looks like a breaker block here, bigger demand, smaller breaker block. Maybe it is, so might be. So we'll have to go create a zone up top. So we'll see. But look, supply, demand, supply, demand, supply, demand, supply. So this is how you catch trades. Kind of know like direction, up and down, stage one, stage two, stage three, stage four. Simple shit. So those are the stages in the market. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Consolidation, market makers taking us up, retail investors and FOMO buyers buying in. And then again, this sell-off, consolidation, and then the sell-off back down. So real simple. Those are the 4 stages of the market. Straightforward. And obviously you see up here, we'll go real quick. So you kind of see this. Makes really good sense. I'm just going to create this real quick. I'm just going to do this really fast so we can make this just simple. We don't have to worry, but I could just show you. I'm just going to show you on making a level real quick. So, oh, we got to look at this right here. Don't want to miss this because then we're going to miss this. Look, we got a green candle there. So we pull this down here. Make sure we catch all the tips of that right here. So it gives us a little more clear direction here. And now you can see, look at it again. Supply, demand, supply, demand, supply, demand. Moving in stages. 1, 2, 3, 4 stages. Simple, simple, simple. So I'll go over some more on this tomorrow. I gave you guys a ton of information. You're probably going to have to watch this video probably 2 or 3 times. I recommend it. And if you have questions, make sure you chat in there. Get ready for tomorrow. I'm locked in. We're going to catch some fucking trades. I'm gonna make some money tomorrow. I'm locked in. And make sure we go 4-0 the next 2 days. Get us what are we at? Like 6-3. So that takes us to 10-3. So I want to lock us in, catch us 2 trades tomorrow. Catch us 2 trades on Friday. We're gonna make fucking fuck ton of money and be ready. Close out the weekend strong. And we start fresh tomorrow. I start fresh on next week. And hopefully next week we have price action. One last thing, I forgot to tell you. So this week, real simple. I'll kind of go over that tomorrow. I'm gonna write that down real quick. News stuff. Okay, so this week there's no news, really no news. There's no CPI data. There's no Fed meeting. There's no news, no real news. Fucking really no news. So this week there's the war is kind of over. It's like, it's just nonstop, same shit, up and down, up and down. There's really no need to focus in on the war anymore. What I'd say is like bigger things like CPI data, PPI data, all the different data, stuff like that. Home sales, no big deal. All these other ones that I'll go through, like we'll kind of go here. I'll just go through it real quick here. I'm just go through it real quick. I'll be super quick here and why we kind of have been shit price action this week. So I'll go to market watch here, go to calendar here. As you can see here, these are the data right here. So you always want to look at this right here. So look, this week, U.S. services, ISM services, crap, no news really. Right here, 8:30, that's at 5:30. U.S. trade balance, no news really. Doesn't really matter. They're not going to like fucking affect the market really. Wholesale industries, initial jobless claims tomorrow. It's Thursday, so boom, that's before market. So that's going to pop or drop the market right there. Initial jobless claims there. We got a Fed meeting at 9 o'clock, so that's 6 a.m. New York speaker, really no big deal. 10 a.m. home sales. Maybe watch that one around that 10 a.m. So 7 o'clock California time, 10 o'clock Eastern time. So watch that one. So I'll make sure I put an alert on that. I usually watch it 3 minutes before and it will kind of see if the market's going to actually move. And then at that 10 o'clock, it will either push the market or not. Real simple. No news there. Friday, none scheduled. See, no news right now. That's why we're kind of like in a shit week. No really a lot of consolidation, a lot of short moves, shit price action. So those are some reasons why this week we've had no price action, no big news, nothing like that. So it's been super, super choppy, lower volume. Like I told you yesterday, I kind of could predict the volume. So I'll start posting that content to lower volume, not much news, stuff like that. So you guys focusing on those things. Again, hopefully this video was really good for you guys. I think I gave you guys tons of information. If you don't get it, watch it over. If you don't get it a second time, watch it over. Like this is a pretty good video. I think that will help you with a lot of market structure levels and stuff like that. And you don't really need to focus on learning how to trade overnight. Go in a good pace where you grasp everything. Go over so you could get the levels. Let's go over levels. We'll go through levels, figure out how to trade, pick the levels, price targets, supply and demand, go over the basics, go over that. Once you get that down, then we could go into like EMAs. We could go to different things. We could go to trend lines. We could do all these other things. And I would say work on this first, and then we'll go from there. Stage of the market, price targets, supply and demand, all these other things that I gave you today. Again, enjoy this content, giving you guys this content. Hopefully it helps you guys a lot. Make sure you guys drop me a like, hit the notifications, follow me, do all the things. And I'll keep posting. I said, follow me, put your notifications up, like my videos, post a comment. Not going to take you that long to do it, and appreciate it. See you guys tomorrow in the chat. Let's bang out some trades. And again, I'm JD Trades. Let's make some money tomorrow. See you guys.